Okay, so you guys will be able to access the recording. You will be able to access the recording in the Facebook group. Welcome to an all new workshop. I have never in my life done this workshop before. I'm super, super excited to be doing it with you, wonderful group of people. As y'all are coming in tonight, as always, I always think it's kind of cool when people, I know it's the typical cheesy thing to say, but I think it's cool when people share where they are from, where they're watching from, because then you can go ahead and make some connections based on where you're watching from, etc. So why don't you all go ahead and drop into the chat, where are you watching from? Where are you watching from? Let us know in the chat. It'll also help us to know who is here tonight, which will put you into the running for a prize tomorrow. As you're doing that, I'm going to just check my tech, getting into my mobile device to make sure people can see me live in the Facebook group. I love when tech works. It's just the simple wins that make me so happy in life. What's going on, Greg from Tucson, Santina from Chicago. We got Michael from New Jersey. What's going on, Michael? We've got Cheryl from Delaware, Danessa from Denver. I lived in DTC area for a while, and I sure do miss the hikes near Boulder and such. So I love seeing these old places I used to live. What's going on, Sheila from Summertown, Tennessee? My mom is out near Nashville. She's in Old Hickory, Sheila. Miami for Alex. Brantford, Ontario. Very cool. Coach Romani. I'm going to say that wrong. Romani. Jess, what's going on, Jess? Georgia. Good stuff. All right. Keep dropping into the chat, y'all, where you are watching from. William, we're almost neighbors. Lakeland, Florida. I'm out south of St. Pete. We just built a new house south of St. Pete. It's kind of like, I feel like we're in the Bermuda Triangle between St. Pete, Tampa, and Sarasota. We're kind of like in between all those places, which is pretty cool from a standpoint of what we want to do for the weekend. Yes, Cheryl, if you want the workbook, which you probably do, text the word client to 813-212-7127. I'm going to drop that into the chat. If you want the workbook, you see that number I just dropped into the chat on Zoom? Text the word client into 813-212-7127. So go ahead and text that to get your workbook. Well, welcome. So excited to see all of your shining faces here. I recognize some of these names. Some of these names are new to me. My name is Betty Kemp, a business coach for coaches, member of the Forbes Coaches Council, IPEC graduate. We have any IPEC grads in the house? Anybody going to IPEC in the house with us tonight? Drop it into the chat if you're an IPEC, or just drop into the chat if you're getting certified or you got certified. Let us know where. I think that's also another kind of cool connection point. And also feel free to come on camera. I love being able to talk to more people than just my cats. So good to see you, Jennifer. Anyone else want to come on camera? Thank you, David. What's going on, buddy? All right, good stuff. Okay, I'm just hitting all the buttons I need to hit. There's Rachel. I recognize that face. What's going on, Rachel? Okay, who's IPEC? Let's see who we have here. IPEC, Jess. What's going on, Jess from IPEC? ICF certified. Charlene, love it. IPEC grad. Michael, what's up? IPEC in the house. Almost fully certified with HCI. A great place to go. Danessa, congrats. Greg, another IPEC grad. Awesome. All right. Well, it's great to meet you. It's great to see some of you who I haven't seen before. I am the founder of the Corporate to Six-Figure Coach Academy, where we help corporate renegades ditch the 9-to-5. No offense to the 9-to-5, and repackage their genius. So this is something already within you into a coaching business that will replace your corporate income and more if you want it to. I will be your guide over the next week, and I am thrilled to be here with you. Acquiring clients while you are still at your corporate job is the first step in replacing your corporate income with a full-time coaching business. This is something that I learned the hard way. There's no reason to wait. I happen to attract a lot of perfectionists, by the way, where it's like, I don't want to talk to anybody or coach unless my website's perfect and my package is perfect and I'm perfect. Any recovering perfectionist here with us tonight? Because that's who I tend to attract. And no harm. No, listen, that's me, right? We typically coach a version of ourselves a couple years back. Recovering, exactly. So my point is, you don't have to wait for things to be perfect in order to get going, to start getting clients. Okay, really, really important stuff. You're going to be throughout this week learning our simple, we're going to give it the KISS method, simple 3-step client acquisition system. That's what we're going to be learning this week. Now, I think what makes getting clients, attracting clients, acquiring clients, what makes it challenging, and raise your hand or give me an emoji if you're with me on this, is that there's so many ways to get clients. And when you go online, you see, oh, do it this way, do funnels, do ads, do organic marketing, do social media posts, do this, do that, do this. And it's like, the more that we see, the more overwhelming it feels, and with reason. So the point of this week is to simplify. Am I going to cover with you guys every single method of client attraction? No. We're going to cover the 3 steps to acquire clients while you are still in your corporate job. I saw someone here as a teacher, or while you're still in your, whatever your 9 to 5 is. And I say 9 to 5 because I know teachers included. I have many friends who are teachers. It's not an 8-hour work day, right? So here's the idea. You're going to learn this client acquisition system, one, without blowing your cover at your corporate job or your whatever your job is, right? Some of you guys are kind of like, I can't really come out. I can't really be all over LinkedIn, right? And Heather says, please, if you're thinking of doing ads, reach out to me first. Yeah, absolutely. Whew, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because I'm trying to get you guys out of here in an hour, but I do not recommend, as Heather, and Heather Copi's one of my guidance coaches on our team here, Heather Copi and Tabitha Allman. I repeat, I do not recommend Facebook ads until you have validated your market by hitting your first 6 figures, or maybe your first, I don't think I started using ads till post 200K years. You don't want to just throw money at that right away. It's a waste of money. It's also not necessary at first. Okay. So we're going to teach you this system this week, 3 steps without blowing your cover at your corporate job, because I know some of you can't come out of the woodwork yet. I get it. I lived it. 2, you're going to learn how to do this pre-launch, how to get clients pre-launch. What I mean by that is, well, Betty, I don't have a beautiful website. I haven't officially launched. Who cares? If you're a coach, you're a coach. Okay. Yes. As a part of my academy, we actually give our clients a website as a part of the package. You want a website down the road. It's nice to have a pretty website, but you don't need it in the beginning. You don't need those bells and whistles in the beginning to get your first group of clients in. And I'm going to teach you how to do that. And the other really important thing about this simple 3-step client acquisition system is that it allows you to mitigate risk. Mitigate risk. Anybody out there who's trying to mitigate risk? As courageous as we are as entrepreneurs by doing what we do, I know a lot of my fellow coaches, especially those of you who are the breadwinners, or, you're in a full-time gig, you're also looking in a way to kind of mitigate the risk when you make the transition from corporate to coach. So when you're on the side, already starting to see some clients coming in, right? That is going to help you mitigate risk, because you're going to have some extra money on the side, one, and it's going to show you this can work. This can work. And we'll talk about it later, but there is a way for this to work even while balancing a corporate job. If you're like, Betty, I'm already exhausted in my job. How am I going to work with clients? There's a way to do it. All of my clients do it in the academy, and I'll be teaching you that this week as well. All right. So again, welcome, welcome. As I see more of you joining us, we've got people in the Zoom room. We've got some people in the Facebook group. As you're coming in, go ahead and drop into the chat where you're watching from or where you were certified as a coach. I do want to let you guys know as well, for the rest of the week. So today we are streaming into the Facebook group. Due to some fun Facebook third-party app rules, what we're going to be doing for the rest of the week is having these lives in the Zoom room. So the link you guys used today is the link you will use for the rest of the week. Now, don't worry. We're going to keep sharing that link with you via text or via email or in the Facebook group. We'll keep giving you the link, but you probably want to tuck that link away. That's where you want to meet us. So for those of you in the Facebook group right now that are like, ooh, but I'm in the Facebook group, that's fine. For tonight, we're streaming into the Facebook group. But for the rest of the week, due to tech Facebook stuff, we're going to be using the Zoom room. So I still want you guys to have access to the Facebook group, because that is where you are going to be posting homework. That is where you are going to be asking me questions. That is where I'm going to be coaching you and giving you answers in between calls. I still want you all in the group. And why don't I go ahead and drop I'll drop a link for you to all join the Facebook group. I want you in the group. But that's going to be more for, homework, getting your questions answered, etc. And we'll also post the replays to the videos in the group as well, so you can access the replays that way. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Raise your virtual hand if that makes sense. Live on Zoom, and the Facebook group is going to be for resources, asking questions, and recordings. Okay, what else do I want to tell you? The guide, the workbook. Tabitha and Heather, could y'all do me a favor? Now, we told you guys before, if you want this bad boy, you want to text client to the number 1-813-212-7127. However, I know for some of our international people, etc., it doesn't always work. So Tabitha and Heather, will you drop the link of the workbook into the chat? And Tabitha and Heather, will you guys make sure that the link you drop is the fillable version of the workbook? The fillable version. So kudos to Hallie, who works with Tabitha Allman, also here on my team to help with this workbook. Hallie created this as a fillable PDF. Ooh, so you might have gotten a text with a workbook that was a PDF. This one, that link that Tabitha just dropped in the chat, Heather's probably dropping it in the Facebook group, is fillable. So when you get the link, you got to download the PDF, and then you can actually fill in the answers. Woo, right? Important, make sure that you save the PDF to your desktop or whatever as you're putting in the answers, because it does not save automatically. And almost every time I have people that are, if it's fillable, they're like, oh, all my answers were lost. And we don't want that to happen to you. Okay. Or if you're old school like me, anybody a printer, anybody printed out like me? I'm so old school. I read all my books. Yeah, Rachel. Yeah, okay. Good to know it's not just me. I'm like, I gotta have, there it is. There she is. Yeah, I gotta have it tangible. So for me, I print it. But hey, now electronically, you guys can fill in your answers as well. So this is absolutely critical. You have to have this workbook with you the entire time we're going through these sessions together. Okay, really, really important. I would still, if you can, text client to this number again that I'm dropping. Heather, paper forever. I know. I'm sorry, trees. I'm dropping the number in again, because here's the other thing about texting client to that number. You will get the text reminders of when we go live with the Zoom link. So it's kind of nice to get those reminders, and then you can unsubscribe whenever you want. Okay, what else? Tabitha Allman, Heather Copi, they are your workshop concierge. contacts. Okay. They are part of my team. They are here in Zoom. Tabitha's with us in Zoom. Heather's with us in Zoom. Heather's also monitoring the Facebook group. It is highly important that you connect with your assigned workshop concierge throughout the duration of this workshop. They are here to guide you through the process and to customize the experience, especially for you. So please, I'm going to do a quick screen share here. Share. Okay, so here's the deal. Sometimes when Tabitha or Heather sends a message, or when I send a message, it'll go into the vault, like the black vault in Messenger. So to check, because they might have sent you a message. If you are not Facebook friends, it might have gone into junk. You're going to hit messages, and then you're going to hit the 3 dots, and then you're going to hit message request. Okay, so look at all this. Woo, right? All these people that, shoot, even I'm like, oh, I better check this, right? It's the black hole of messages. So check in here to see if the girls messaged you, and even better, if you message them, that'll automatically ensure that you guys are able to message each other. Heather, will you do a favor as well? One thing that we talked about that is helpful is to kick off having a connect call with Heather. It is not anything like a sales call. It's nothing like that. It's like, could be anywhere from 5 to 10, 15 minutes, depending. And that's just for Heather to get you set up for this workshop and to customize this experience for you. She may talk about which days are especially important for you. We have a vault of over 100 free trainings based on what your challenges are. She may be able to get you one. So I don't know, Heather, what would be best? Maybe Heather, if you want to share your link for people to book that call with Tabitha, you guys could both drop that link to book a connect call with you in the chat. At minimum, send a DM to Heather Copi and say, hey, I want to have a connect call with you. I want to customize the experience. But really take use of even if Tabitha is your concierge, you can still do a connect call with Heather, just so, because she's in the vault a lot. So yeah, I think probably, and again, it's up to you, Heather, but I think what's best is drop a link into the chat, into the Zoom chat and the Facebook group chat for people to have a connect call with you. If you could flip that over to Heather, Tabitha, or wait, Heather, if you could flip that to Tabitha, that would be helpful for people. Okay, what else do I want to tell you? So Facebook group is where you're going to post your homework, so you have a chance to be in the running for prizes. Facebook group is where you're going to receive feedback and answers from me all about the client acquisition system. Please don't feel like you have to wait until the next session to get answers from me. I'm going to be in that Facebook group all week. And through the Facebook group is where you'll connect in the DMs with your personal concierge who will customize the experience for you. I will be teaching live on Zoom every night this week, Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for about an hour each night. So mark that down. About an hour each night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are also having a Saturday and a Sunday session where I'll be running those sessions at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern. I'm doing it earlier in the day over the weekend so that you guys can get out and do what you're going to do over the weekend. So write that down as well. Thursday is an especially important night for you guys to catch. Oh no, just as I'm saying that, Gigato, Thursday, you can't come in live. Yeah, we'll hook you up, Gigato. But for the rest of you, if you can come live, ironically, just as Gigato puts that in the chat, Thursday is an especially important night for you to catch. So if you can attend live, I would. It's going to be the art of turning a complimentary coaching call into a client, because what I see a lot of the time is people are running these complimentary coaching calls, but they don't understand how to smoothly, authentically transition that into a client. That's where people drop the ball. And you did all this work, and then it's like, Now what? So please make sure you catch Thursday's call. All of the videos and training are going to come down Tuesday of next week. Tuesday of next week at midnight Eastern Standard Time. So please be sure if you're catching a replay or whatever, all replays are coming down Tuesday of next week, Eastern Standard Time, midnight. Also be in tune with your emails. And Heather just dropped in the Connect call link. Thank you, Heather. So again, book that with Heather. It's just a 5 to 15-minute call. And again, it's just so she can customize the experience for you and potentially get you some free training, depending on what you need. Check your emails as well. I'm going to be pushing out emails this week. If you're not getting emails from me, by the way, put in the chat email, and I'll make sure you're on our email list. You're going to want those emails because I'm going to be sending important information about upcoming sessions. I often will link it to the replays. So you're going to want to be on that email list. Again, check your spam. You never know, right? A good way to get out of spam is to reply to one of my emails and say, got it, because then you're training the email platform you use. Like, okay, I talked to this girl. You can quit throwing her into the spam inbox. Last but not least, before we get going here, we're going to be doing some fun giveaways, gift cards, special gifts almost every day for our live viewers starting tomorrow. Okay, William, we'll get you in there. Thanks, William. And if you don't want to put your email live too, you can DM that to your concierge as well. But William will get you there. So giveaways we're doing all this week starting tomorrow. How do you participate in a giveaway? One, you got to show up live. So the people that are live are going to be eligible for the giveaway. Two, after the live, you'll have 24 hours to get in the Facebook group. Tabitha will be posting a singular question in a homework thread. It'll be a graphic, it'll say homework, and it'll have one question, and it'll probably be a question related to something in your workbook. So just answer the question, show up live, and then we're going to do a drawing for one of our gifts each night, and that'll be a lot of fun. All right, so that's it. Without further ado, drum roll. Let's dive in. Let's see if I still have my Zoom. I used to have my Zoom balloons, my Zoom confetti. Let's see if it's still there when I do my little, there we go. Woo, confetti. I don't know if anyone else plays with those, but I get a kick out of those, the little things in life like that. All right, as we go, y'all, drop questions as we go. I don't want to be a talking head. If I don't get to your question, just know that this weekend I'll be doing a rapid fire Q&A. So Tabitha is collecting all your questions that you ask. And then over the weekend, I'm going to do a Q&A. Every single person that asks a question is going to get their question answered. So please, if something's unclear, if you want to know how it relates to you, ask for your questions in the chat. Throw your questions in the chat, or if you're a processor like me, get into the Facebook group afterwards and put your question in the Facebook group. All right, so today's topic is the inner circle, step 1 of the 3-step client acquisition system. IPEC, William, is the International Professional Excellence in Coaching. Check me, IPEC people, if I got that wrong. I'm like, acronyms this late in the day. It's a coach certification program. And I tend to see a lot of people from IPEC, William, because that's where I went, is all. Good, Cicely. I was like, okay, good. All right, so let's talk about the inner circle and what does the inner circle have to do with client acquisition system? So here's the deal, okay? Working with your inner circle is the first step of the 3 steps of the client acquisition system. Notice I say system. What I can't stand when people talk about client attraction is like, try this, try that, try this, try that. Ugh. Throwing spaghetti at the wall is going to drive you nuts and lead to burnout. Okay. So really important. You want to learn a system, not just, oh, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try that. I'm going to try that. That'll drive you wild and it won't work. Okay. So this is a simple system, I say simple, I made it as simplified as I could. It is organic. So this is something that we are doing organically, meaning versus paid, right? We're not paying for ads. We're not paying for fancy funnels, right? It's an organic, everything we're doing is, it's free and we're doing it ourselves, right? So the system's simple, it's organic, and it's a focus on warm leads versus cold leads. That should make you smile, right? Because I know a lot of coaches are like, oh, cold leads. I got to reach out to all these cold leads on LinkedIn. And what do I say? And they're going to think I'm annoying. And look, yes, at a certain point in your life, right, you're going to outgrow your network. And at a certain point, it's like, okay, now we got to build our audience. And yeah, some of those people will be cold leads, but that comes later. That comes down the road. That's something I teach in the academy. And the way I teach it is based on being very authentic and coming from a place of service and building relationships. We don't need to worry about cold leads, not for this workshop. We're talking about warm leads. So that should already feel good. In this training today, we're going to talk about 1, how to leverage your inner circle in an authentic, non-icky, sticky way. In an authentic, non-icky, sticky way to find clients. We're going to talk about who is in your inner circle, and you're going to be receiving a special inner circle tracker or a spreadsheet. A tracker sounds fancier. That will walk you through the steps you have to take to move a conversation with an inner circle member to a potential client or referral. Okay, so I'm going to give you a link to that tracker. Do stay till the end of tonight's session to get that link, because what happens is if I get it out now, everybody starts playing in there and I need your focus, right? Let's look at David's question. I'm just starting. Should I create a new email for my coaching business that is different from my personal email? You will need to do that for sure, David, right? Like mine is Coach Betty at bettykempa.com. So you will need to do that. Is it going to be a deal breaker if, you know, in these beginning stages, when you're kind of networking with people, you have a Gmail account with your full name, as long as it's not some weird, you know, how some people with their emails, they'll have like strange, you're like, what is this? If it's just your name at Gmail, you know, I don't think that that's the end of the road. Like, oh my gosh, I have a personal email in the beginning. But yes, definitely once people join the academy, that's part of the process. It looks more professional. And there's many reasons that you are going to want to have, a work email for your coaching business. I think bottom line, David, whether you go out there, and I think I used Office 365, and, you know, I had bought the domain bettykempa.com, and it allowed me the choice. Do you want an email? And if you do, what do you want it to be? And so it was at bettykempa.com. If you don't want to jump through all those hoops, I would still say, like, if you're using a Gmail, I would create a new email for just coaching business. Why? Because you don't want all your stuff to get, you know, together in the black hole that might be your, if you're a zero inbox person, then, you know, maybe you're in a better place. But for me, my Gmail, it's wild. So yeah, I would create a separate inbox email for just your coaching business. Good question. Yeah. So inner circle, turn to page in your workbook. Turn to page 1. So we're going to start off right away. Woo. Okay. I want you to write this down in your workbook. Think of your inner circle as the people in your network. These are people in your network who already know, like, and trust you. Okay. They already know, like, and trust you, right? If they saw you on the street, they're probably going to know who you are. Right? So they're already in your corner to some capacity. They're already rooting for you. They know who you are at minimum. Now, to be clear, these people in your inner circle may not be seen as an ideal client avatar. What's an ideal client avatar? Any guesses? Anyone want to put into the chat? What do you guys think is an ideal client avatar? Anybody heard that term be used before? Bueller? Anyone? Ideal client avatar. Yeah, Rachel. It's me 3 years ago. Yeah, it's typically it's who we want to work with ideally, and a lot of the times it's us. A couple years back, Cheryl, people that would be good clients. Bingo. Yeah, William, the perfect client. Yeah, that's all it is. It's just a fancy term. So when we think of your inner circle, I want to be clear. Not everybody you list in your inner circle is necessarily going to be an ideal client avatar. Like, oh, they'd make the perfect client. They'd make the perfect client. That not necessarily, but that's okay, because we are not necessarily in this exercise just looking for the client, just going straight for the client. We are also looking for people who are connectors, for people who might make a referral, for people who might make an introduction. So please do not rule anybody out. My neighbor doesn't know anybody. My hairstylist doesn't know. They wouldn't know anybody in leadership circles. You'd be shocked, right? They could have a cousin. They could have the hairdresser probably knows somebody for every niche on this call. So don't rule anybody outside of the box because they are not your ideal client avatar. We're also looking for people that are connectors, referrals, introductions. So write that bit down in your workbook under how to think of your inner circle. Write that down up top here. Okay. How to think of your inner circle. And again, just high level here, high level, right? Friends, family, neighbors, alumni that you know, right? Old colleagues that can be trusted, right? Etc. Side note, we will be going much deeper into where to find your inner circle. We'll go much deeper into that in lesson 3 on day 3. So be sure to attend day 3. We'll go much deeper into where do I find these people? We'll really get into it. But right now, I want everybody to take just a couple minutes. You'll see on the bottom of page 1, this handy dandy little grid. Take a couple minutes. I want everybody to write down the first 5 people that come to your mind. The first 5 people that come to your mind, write them down now. Write them down now in your workbook. The first 5 people that come to mind. And then when you're done writing it, put done in the comments. The first 5 people that come to mind when either you're like, yeah, they'd be a great ideal client avatar, like, oh, that would be a great client. Or maybe they're just someone who would be a great connector, like, oh, they could make some great referrals potentially. Write that down now. I want you to write 5 names. Write that down now and then put done in the comments. Cheryl coming in at number 1. Okay, David's done. And again, I'm just 5 people that come to mind. Why am I doing this? I'm just trying to get you guys, I'm trying to get the juices flowing, right? I'm trying to get you guys in this headspace. You're going to be doing more of this for homework. Okay, great. A lot of people done. The next thing I want you to do in column 2, it's like I'm trying to see this. Let me move this over. Column 2, communication method. Here's what that means. Let me be clear. What does communication method mean? Communication, I want you to list next to each person's name the typical modality of communication that you use with each person, right? I might text with my best girlfriend. I might do a phone call to my cousin. I might email a previous coworker. I might Facebook DM a neighbor. I might LinkedIn DM somebody that was in a mastermind with me, right? I'm making this up. But here's the point. I want you to write that in now. Don't force everybody through the communication mode you want to use, because that may not be the one that they typically use with you. We want this to feel natural. So if you typically text with them, put text. If you only see them on Facebook, put Facebook DM. Right? If you only email them, you picking up what I'm putting down here? So we are going to be fluid and dynamic with our method of communicating with this person based on what feels natural, what you would typically do with this person, right? And sometimes it's a guess if you haven't talked to them in a while, right? It's like I haven't spoken to this person since the high school reunion. That might be a Facebook DM, right? So write that down now. So 5 communication methods. Just think about it. How do I think I'd communicate to each of these person? What feels natural? Sometimes it's also what info do I have of that person? Do I have their phone number? Do I have their social media? Right. So go ahead and do that and then put done once you've finished that part. So 5 communication modalities and then put done in the chat. I'm going to give y'all just a little bit, like a minute here. Hey, we got some fast movers. Keep it coming. All right. Couple seconds more. Keep it coming, keep it coming, keep it coming. All right. So I just want, again, you guys are going to be doing a lot more of this. So I just want to give you guys a taste of what this will look like. All right. Let's get into talking about the tracker. I'm going to share that on my screen. Like I said, let me just repeat myself with the tracker here. I'm going to give you guys the link to this tracker at the end of our training session tonight so that you can focus with me until we get to the end here tonight. Okay, so here we go. Let me make it a little bit bigger. All right, so this is going to be your inner circle tracker. The purpose of this tracker is to list everybody in your inner circle so that you can start conversations. Okay, and just to be clear, let me come out of this for a second. Talk about starting conversations. Why do we want to start conversations? Put that into the chat. Why are we looking to start conversations? Let's see if you can get it before I put it on the board. Put it in the chat. Okay, let's see what we got going on. Connection for sure. Yeah, connection for sure. Conversations, connection, and connection. Look, it's the 3 C's. Connections leads to clients. So if you're not having conversations, you're not going to be looking at a lot of clients, right? So conversations, connecting with people, that's what's going to lead you to clients. Rachel, that's the easy part for me. And do we start them because it's step 1 to go further? Let me read this again, Rachel. That is the easy part for me. Woo! Which is awesome because for some people, this is a challenging part. So you're ahead of the pack here if it's easy for you. And do we start them because it's step 1 to going further to prospect to a client? Yes. Yeah. Either prospecting them to being a client or getting a referral to a potential client. It's going to be one or the other. Either you're going to find out your conversation with your inner circle, ooh, this is a potential client, right? Or you're going to find out, no, this isn't a potential client, but they might refer me or make an introduction to a potential client. Right? So one or the other. But the bottom line, we want to get the word out. We want to get the word out. So very important here. And again, just because I like to write on my whiteboard here, hold on, I'm just going to share. Just take a second here before I share again. So your inner circle conversations are going to lead to clients. Inner circle. Circle. Okay. All right. So let's get back into our little spreadsheet here. Share. And here we go. Now, back to our tracker. Conversations, like I said, might lead somebody to saying, oh my gosh, you know, this is wild. I could be your client. It sounds like you're talking to me. I could be me. Or they might say, hey, you know what? I know somebody who fits that description of the type of people you work with. I know somebody like that. Either way would be perfect. The key is, and now here's the key with this inner circle tracker exercise, you guys, all right? My recommendation when we get into conversations with people is to start light. And here's what I mean by that. To start on a personal level, to start on a non-business related topic, okay? We're starting there now. We're just connecting on a human to human level, non-business related. Well, you want to start there now. Why? So that later, right? Later on, when you're ready to get clients or launch your business, you don't want the first thing that you ever have people that come at you and the first thing they say, sometimes it's people you know, is, hey, I'm doing this business, blah, blah, blah. This is what I'm doing. Hey, do you know anybody? Can I get you as a client? Blah, blah, blah. And that's the first thing they say. That's such a turnoff. That's ick. That's the ick right there. Right. So we want to start building that relationship again, connecting on a personal level so that when we're ready to say, oh, yeah, I'm doing this business, it's a natural progression of conversation. And again, I learned that the hard way, right? I was ready to launch. I was like, yeah, I'm, getting ready to launch. And there were some people, I was like, the first message I sent them was like, hey, I'm launching this business, da, 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 da. Here's what I'm doing. Do you know anybody? And they were like, whoa, girl, hold on. I haven't talked to you in 5 years, right? Take me on a date first. You know what I mean? So that's the other thing. We got to get into those relationship building conversations now. The other thing I want you to take note of as I go through this tracker with you is that there's going to be some scripts in this tracker. Now, I want to be clear when it comes to using a script. Somebody like Rachel, I'm not picking on you, but somebody like Rachel, who, talking to people and just having conversations and engaging, it feels natural already. For her, it already feels natural. So for Rachel, she may look at the script and say, okay, that's nice, I get it, but she won't really need the script. And I will tell all of you guys, what's more important than a script is the why behind the script. What's more important than a script? Now, I am an introvert. Any fellow introverts here? More specific, INFJ. I tend to see we get a lot of coaches that are INFJs. It's always interesting. I'm an INFJ. So for me, in the beginning of my coaching journey, scripts helped me to kind of take me from an anxiety level of here, like, oh, I got to network, to here, like, okay, I know what I'm going to say. I feel okay with this, right? So I just want you to take the scripts with a grain of salt. You say what feels good and authentic to you. You don't have to be a robot networking, nor should you be. Okay, these are just to help the people that need help with this part, like me, right? A couple of years ago. Okay, so let's go through this from start. You're really going to want to start in column A through E. This kind of lighter, ugly shade of yellow, columns A through E. And by the way, when I give you this at the end of the session, obviously you're going to want to hit File, make a copy so you have a version you can edit. So my recommendation, and this is going to be in your homework, you guys already have 5 people you came up with for your inner circle. I would come up with 15 more. Or what do I say in the homework? I could be lying about that. What do I say? I say 20 more. That was a lie. So I would say try to come up with 20 more. So you have a total of 25 people. I think that's a good way to get started. Eventually down the line, I would keep going. right? I tell my clients, keep going till you get to 100. And that's me as the coach stretching you, stretching you. But just to get started for your homework, I'm like, okay, guys, cool. You have 5 people, add 20 more people in your inner circle. So their name will go in column A. Column B is, and you may or may not find this helpful. If you don't, you can delete it. But relationship to me. You know, when you get to 100 people listed in your inner circle, it's like, wait, which Michael is this? Is it this guy? Is it that guy? Is it this guy? So sometimes I like to just remind myself, right? Because by the way, some people in your inner circle, you may not have talked to them in the last 5 years, 10 years, right? I saw them at my high school reunion 10 years ago. So relationship, who is this person to me? What we talked about in the sheet, modality of communication, how do I communicate with them? And then either option 1 or 2 is just the information on how you communicate. So, you know, if you communicate through Facebook or LinkedIn, to make it easy on yourself, put in their link to their Facebook profile or their LinkedIn profile. Or option 2, if you're going to communicate through phone number or email, put that in there. You don't need all of this, but just however you're saying, this is how I'm going to talk to them, put that in one of these 2 parts here. So I would do that as kind of like a step 1, just collect the names. And for you guys, for the sake of this workshop, you came up with 5 people, put them in the spreadsheet, put them in the tracker, and fill out the rest of this for those 5 people. And then just list 20 more in column A, 20 more. So now you're a quarter of the way there to getting to 100. Okay. Questions on where we're at so far. Danessa, you like that? Take me on a date first. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's move on to step 1. So now is when we start to talk to people. The talking begins. So step 1, now this is optional. Do you have to do this? No, I'm just making suggestions over the years, what I've seen work, what my clients have seen work, etc. Okay. If you don't do this step, is it going to be a deal breaker? No. But have I seen it work sometimes? Yes. So step 1 is do them a solid. So I like to sometimes, if it's possible, before I hit you up with a message, I like to do you a solid. And I give an example, engage on their social media content, for example. Okay. So go turn your workbook to page 2. And about halfway down the workbook, it's going to say examples of doing a solid. So turn your workbook to page 2. I'm going to give you some examples. Get ready to write this down. Okay. Here's some examples of doing a solid. So here's the bottom line. When I say do a solid, do something useful or valuable for that human. Or it could be something that makes them feel good. Just something that makes them feel good, right? It's the littlest things, you know, that makes a person feel good. The littlest things. It doesn't necessarily, when I say do them a solid, it doesn't have to do with coaching. It doesn't have to do with business, your coaching business. It can be something personal, but it should be customized to them. We're not doing a solid the same way for every person. It's customized. Okay, so take notes of this on page 2, examples of doing a solid. So here are some examples. If they post on social media, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever, engage in their content, right? Why do people post? Well, usually they want people to engage. When I say engage, I'm not just saying hit like and some generic comment. I'm saying, you know, hit like or love or whatever, and add an authentic comment, authentic to whatever they posted on social media. That's as easy as doing a solid is. Do them a solid, make them feel good. Another example, send them an article you think would be helpful to them. Send them an article. Doesn't have to be written by you. If it was, great. Doesn't have to be. It could be around coaching their urgent problem, or it could be around anything useful for that person. If I know that person is a golden retriever and I saw there's like a golden retriever puppy camp opening up nearby, like that would be a cute like article to send. You know what I mean? So send them a useful article. Send them a handwritten letter. Don't get many of those anymore, do we? right? And what would you say? And, sometimes it's like a just to say hi letter, nothing to do with business. Maybe it's just, hey, haven't talked to you in a while, and you're updating them on what's going on with you, and you're asking them questions about the last, about what's going on with them, etc. You could take them out to coffee. Hey, girl, I haven't talked to you in a while. It's been months. Let's do a coffee on me. Take them out to coffee. You could send them a virtual Starbucks $5 gift coupon and just say, hey, happy Mother's Day, which, by the way, happy Mother's Day to the mothers out there. I was going to say happy Monday, right? Mondays, ugh, right? So you could send them a little $5 Starbucks coffee digital coupon. Hey, happy Monday, coffee's on me. Especially if you're like, hey, you got a new job, or there's like a tie-in of why they could use a coffee. You could, if you're on LinkedIn, send them a LinkedIn skills endorsement. On LinkedIn, everybody list out their skills, copywriting, management, blah, blah, blah. Endorse them for those skills, right? You just hit endorse. Even better than that, the best thing you could do, is write a LinkedIn written recommendation. So at the very end of your LinkedIn profile, you can receive recommendations where people say, oh, Lori was a great worker. She did this, that, and the other. Write one for somebody else. By the way, it doesn't have to be someone underneath you. You could write one about how awesome your boss was. You could write one for coworkers, cross-functional. You could write one for anybody. That's one of the best things you could do for somebody. You can follow up on a personal matter that you know about them, right? Whether it's a serious personal matter or something fun, right? Hey, you guys said you went to Orlando this Christmas. I haven't connected with you since then. How was your trip? What's new? Blah, 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 right? So anyways, those are a couple examples of doing somebody a solid before we go right into the message, Any questions on doing them a solid? Or does anybody want to add in the chat if you have other ideas for how to do somebody a solid? Cicely says you also can share their post in rare these days, but valuable. Yeah, Cicely, great one. Share their post. And be sure when you share it, tag them too, just to make sure that they see that you did that, and then maybe add some of your thoughts. I love that, Cicely. Great. Yeah. So there you go. Do them a solid. Let's move on to G. So now we've done them a solid. Now, Betty, I can't do a solid for this person. I don't know what to do. Can I move forward? Yeah, just forget about it. If you have a couple people that you're like, I just don't know what to do, it's fine. I just find that when you do this, it makes this easier. That's all. That's it. And also, we're coaches. We like to make people feel good. We wake up every morning and we ask ourselves, how can I serve today? That's what we do. So column G should be a little bit easier now. You're going to send the initial message. And the time between these two, I don't know, it doesn't have to be too long. It could be one right after the other, honestly. So the initial message is just a personal message, right? A personal message. And up here, it's anything you want it to be, right? Maybe I'd say, hey, Lori, I saw your pictures on Facebook of your recent trip with the kids to Orlando. How fun. We were there last year. We had a blast. I haven't seen you since the high school reunion. I wanted to reach out to say hi. So I'm just peeping their Facebook and I'm like, oh, I saw you did that. That looks so fun. Now so I don't care what you guys put up here. It's just a personal, non-business message. It's kind of a personal, non-business message. Here's the why we're doing this. Here's what's important. Here it is. It's bolded. What is new and exciting in your world as of late? What is new and exciting? So I'm going to send them a little love note. I call it a love note. And then I say, what is new and exciting in your world as of late? That's the important part. Okay. So we're tracking the date you sent out the message. We're tracking when they responded. So maybe they responded and they're like, oh, I just went to Greece with my husband. It was so fun, blah, blah, blah. Right. And so now the return message copy. Here's the important part here. Right. So I'm going to respond back and, oh, you guys went to Greece. That's amazing. Because they're responding to what's new and exciting in your world as of late. Okay. Now, here's where we can smoothly transition to talking about coaching. Hey, as for your question, what I've been up to as of late, I have to tell you. And by the way, you guys, if you want to, you could send an audio via Facebook, DM, or text. Sometimes that's fun. I like to do that for this part sometimes because I convey, your voice is going to convey excitement, right? People want to get behind you if you're passionate, excited. Hey, as for your question, what I've been up to as of late, I got to tell you something. I'm super pumped with my latest endeavor. I'm following my lifelong dream of becoming a coach and entrepreneur. In fact, I just got certified and I'm going to share. Now, for me, you guys know I'm a business coach. So I'm going to share the type of coach I am. Why? Because I want them to think about people to refer on that topic. So I'm sharing the type of coach I am. Then I'm sharing my niche statement. I'm sharing the urgent problem I help people solve. In a nutshell, I help corporate renegades ditch the 9-to-5 and repackage their genius into a 6-figure coaching business. Now, why am I sharing that level of detail? Type of coach I am, type of urgent problem I'm solving, because it's going to make it easier for them to refer people to me. It will also make it easier for them to decide, oh, shoot, I'm going through that. She could help me. Now, if I was to say, hey, I'm a life coach, it might be a little bit more challenging to get referrals because you're like, I don't know what I'm going to refer. Who am I referring you? But if you're able to say, this is the urgent problem I coach people on, and this is my coaching title, this is the area I focus on, it'll be so much easier to get referrals. And for these people to say, oh my gosh, I'm going through that myself. Now, here at the end here, I say I'm so passionate about this because I want to help other women just like me. So I'm conveying my passion. I'm in the process of trying to build my network with these type of women. So I'm not saying I'm trying to get clients. I'm just saying I'm trying to build my network because that's the truth. Do you happen to know anyone like this? Right? So that's the key, is what's in bold here and here. That's the key. What's in bold there and there. And again, Cicely, what if these warm leads are already on top of what you're doing? Nice. Follow you all the time. Nice. Or even former clients, even nicer. Maybe just adjust the intro conversation. Yeah, absolutely. If you're Cicely, if you're already further down the path with them, yeah, adjust accordingly. Absolutely, adjust accordingly. And what would be great is former clients asking for referrals. Up to you if you want to give a referral fee, but that's always nice. And then if it's somebody that's a warm lead that you're already like really connected to, then potentially, let me put this up here. So if it's a warm lead you're already connected to, let's go here. Warm lead. So they're following me, they're connected, they know me, they love me. Then the hope is either, maybe I offer a complimentary coaching call. And then from there, turn them into a client at the end of that call. I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do that on Thursday. Or you could do market research with that person. You could say, hey, let's hop on the phone. I'm doing some market research, would love 20 minutes, 15 minutes of your time. It's not a sales call. So get some market research out of them. As a thank you for their time, you could offer a complimentary coaching call. And then again, pitch to becoming a client. So I know I'm doing a lot of arrows and craziness, but we'll be covering this week. Last but not least, maybe the warm lead is just going to become a client themselves, right? So that you could go straight to a comp call. Or it's just a simple asking, like I said, like, let's go back to the tracker here. Let's go back to the tracker. So in the script, we're saying, hey, do you happen to know anyone like this? That's when they're either going to say, oh my gosh, girl, you're talking to me. It's me. Or they're going to say, yeah, I do know somebody like that, right? My cousin, my so-and-so. So again, we're just tracking. I think it's always good, column L, to write down as you're tracking, what's the next step and date you're going to take that step. I think that's because when you come back to the tracker to follow up, sometimes it's like, wait, where was I? What am I supposed to do next? So I love column L. You know, when I'm talking to somebody, okay, what's the next thing I'm going to do with this person? And when am I going to do it by? So I like column L. So I'm keeping myself like on track here. So when I come back to my spreadsheet each day, I'm keeping myself on track. Are they my niche, or do they know who they can, or do they know they can introduce me to somebody? So again, I want to track, is this my ICA or no? Are they going to refer me to somebody? And then I just, take follow-up notes, right? So maybe she says, yeah, I know 3 women, Lisa, Jen, and Trisha, they're all in corporate. They want to become coaches. And so I'm like, hey, could you introduce us in a 3-way Facebook DM or a 3-way email? So she introduces us, right? And then I'm like, hey, Trisha, I'm doing some market research. I'd love to connect with you for 15 minutes over the phone. Get her on the phone, do the market research, right? So we continue to do these follow-ups until we get a call booked. And once the call is booked, we can potentially pitch. And you guys will learn how to do that later this week. Okay, really important. Now, before we get off our call tonight, really important topic that I know people struggle with. So I want you guys to write this down. Your coaching title. Drop into the comments if you know what your coaching title is. What's your coaching title? What's your coaching title? Drop into the comments if you know what your coaching title is. And I'm going to give you a hint. I'm going to put this into the chat too. And put your coaching title into the chat. If you know what it is, put your coaching title into the chat. So I'm putting into the chat, here are some hints, right? There are 12 I call them umbrella topics when you're picking a niche, right? So you can look at any of these umbrella topics and say, I'm a marriage coach. I'm a finance coach. I'm a coach for mothers of teenagers. I'm a career coach. I'm an executive coach, right? I'm a fashion coach. I'm a divorce coach, right? So that's a little hint. So I want you to all go into your workbook on the top of page 2 and write down your coaching title, top of page 2, write it in, your coaching title. Now, if you don't know your title, or you're like, girl, I need help. How do I know? I got certified and now I'm a life coach. I don't know. Then please put that question in the chat or put that question in the Facebook group. Okay. Don't just leave this workshop like, well, I don't know what my title is. The more specific you can get on your title, the easier it will be to get referrals and to get clients in the beginning. So if you need help with that, please put that in the chat or put that in the Facebook group, and I will help you with that, okay, on the rapid fire Q&A. Or if you put it in the Facebook group, I'll go back and forth with you and we'll come to something together. The next thing I want you to fill out, top of page 2. Now, again, why are we talking about niche on this call? It's because that's what's in the script for the ICA tracker. And I was told this, if anybody's ever been in BNI, business, oh gosh, another acronym, business networking international, any BNI people, I had a very good niche when I was in BNI. And I remember the guy, this guy kept getting me referrals, and he goes, the reason why I keep giving you referrals is you're the only one in here who's so clear with who you work with and the problem you help them solve. I have people that come to mind. It makes it easier. So put into the chat, what is the urgent problem that you coach people to solve? Now that's going to be, I'm going to give you some hints here. That's going to be probably a part of your niche statement. I help who with what so that, right? There's an urgent problem somewhere in there, right? If you're a leadership coach, what's the urgent problem within leadership that you're coaching people? What do you want to be known for? Like, oh, that's the guy who helps leaders do this. Okay. This should be an urgent problem you're helping them overcome. They should be kept awake at night, rolling, tossing, and turning. I'd pay anything to solve that problem. Burnout. Ooh, that's an urgent problem for sure. Charlene, I love the STEM careers. Yep. Chronic disease, absolutely. So you guys are on a good start here. Now, I know there's a lot of people watching live or watching the replay that are not sure. You're like, girl, I'm just learning to be a coach. I don't know. I don't know my niche yet. I don't know the urgent problem. Please, what I'm asking you guys to do is to put either into the chat or the Facebook group the first draft of the urgent problem you want to help people solve, and I'll give you feedback. So by the end of this workshop, you feel good about it. All right. So if you're unclear, like, I don't know, or I'm between a couple ideas, put it in the chat or put it in the Facebook group, and we'll do some rapid fire Q&A later this week. Okay. Now, again, I want to remind you guys before we hop off tonight, days 2 through 4 of this week, we're going to be talking about how to turn this inner circle conversation or market research. We're going to be talking about how to turn that into a complimentary coaching call, and then how to turn a complimentary coaching call into a sale. Every session we do this week builds on the next. Okay, really important. I think already in the chat, Tabitha's put the link for this spreadsheet. I'll put it in there as well for kicks and giggles. So here's your tracker. Before we hop off, make sure you download that before we hop off tonight. Last but not least, very important, the action items at the bottom of page 2. The writing is a little light, at least on my printed copy. So, do what you got to do to read it. But there's 4 action items. Okay. 1, do a solid for the 5 people you wrote down. Do them a solid. I want you to practice doing them a solid. Number 2, send an initial customized message to those 5 people. We're going to get started with those 5 people. Do them a solid, send them the initial message. Number 3, I want you to come up with 20 more people and list them in your inner circle document. Now you'll have 25. You don't need to, with those 20 people, go all the way through. Just list their name. I just want their names in there. And then last but not least, this is important in your action items. All action items in the workbook will be in red. Very important. Add a power hour in your schedule. I know you're all busy. You're all in full-time jobs or corporate. So are my clients. It's the Corporate to Six-Figure Coach Academy. I want you to add a power hour in your schedule 3 times a week to continue to work on your inner circle tracker, because the key is in the follow-up. It's all about the follow-up. This is not a one and done. I sent the message. It's follow-up, 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 add more people, follow-up, follow-up. So add a power hour in your schedule 3 times a week where you will follow up, nurture, provide value, book, and run calls. Okay, really important. If you have any questions, post in the Facebook group, tag me, tag your bootcamp concierge, Tabitha or Heather. We are here to help. You can also DM us. Tomorrow, we will be talking about the very important topic of market research mastery. This is step 2 in the 3-step client acquisition system. And we're going to talk about how you're going to be able to use market research and turn that into conversations and turn that into clients. It's a very cool way of doing it. So this is another method of using warm leads to get clients while you're doing market research. Really important topic. So be sure to be here. Same Zoom link tomorrow night, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Congratulations. I need some confetti. Give me some confetti. Woo, congratulations. Maybe some fireworks. Woohoo! Session 1 complete. Be proud of yourself. I want y'all to head over to the Facebook group and look for the homework post that Tabitha posted. And I want you to answer the question in the homework post so you're eligible for tomorrow's session. I'm so psyched for you guys. Soak all of this in. Post your homework in the upcoming homework thread. It's already in the Facebook group. And have a wonderful night. I will see you tomorrow. See you all tomorrow. Bye, guys.